Hello and welcome to 18 WJTS Inform. I'm your host, Bill Potter. We are meeting candidates who are running for office in Dubois County, and today we're going to meet someone who is running for Dubois County Council District number 2, and that is Darren Patterson. Darren, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, we're glad to have you here, and like we do with all the candidates, first of all, we want to find out, who is Darren Patterson? Tell us about yourself.
Okay, well, I'll try to be brief, but I'd like to cover basically that I was born and raised here in Jasper. My parents are the late Robert Patterson and Imogene, and Imogene still works down at headquarters every day. She lives independently and works there. I attended Holy Family School, and I'm an '83 graduate of Jasper High School. After high school, I joined the Army. I spent 3 years and was stationed in Fort Carson, Colorado, and later in Heidelberg, Germany. And after my 3-year commitment, I attended Indiana University. And let me back up. I did spend a year at USI in Evansville and 4 years at Indiana University, Bloomington. And I got my degrees in economics and psychology. And I met my beautiful wife now of 25 years at Indiana University. So IU is very special to me. Okay, so my wife is Dr. Ann Patterson, and she has a family practice here in Jasper. When I started, right after college, I started in the banking business, and I was a bank manager and a commercial credit analyst. And I followed my wife around as she moved through her medical training and through her residency program. And I found my calling a few years ago and started my own business. Actually, it's been 13 years ago as a mortgage loan officer. So I own my own business, and I help people live the American dream every day. Also, I've been very involved in many community service organizations beside the military. I'll back up on my military background. After active duty, I decided to stay in the Army Reserve, and I retired in 2005 with the rank of First Sergeant. And I did many different things in the Army. I did transportation. I was in the Transportation Corps. I was also a member of the infantry, so I enjoyed doing the cool stuff, jumping out of airplanes, and was an expert infantryman and also a drill instructor. And my last job was Chief of Public Affairs for my division, so I had a broad range of work in the Army. When I came back here, again to Jasper, worked in banking and then started my own business, and staying very involved in different service organizations, such as the Kiwanis, Jasper German Club, and the Rotary Club of Jasper, which I founded and organized. And I think what's important is not only did I participate in those organizations, but I held leadership positions. I'm past president of those organizations. I'm also a member of the Team Red, White, and Blue. That's a veteran support group. We recently did the Freedom Walk, and now we're getting ready for the Veterans Day shoot, and I'm the chairman of that. That'll be the 3rd annual event for the Veterans Day shoot. Gosh, what do I do? What I do for a living is help people live the American dream of home ownership. So that's cool. I get to get up every day and help people find ways to own a home. I've got a wife, as I mentioned before, Dr. Ann Patterson, 25 years of marriage. We have 4 beautiful children. And Madeline, which is graduating with a degree in education. She's going to be a teacher, so hopefully we can bring her back here. Melanie just started at IU, and she's in theater and arts. Emily, I'm not quite sure what she wants to do. She keeps telling me she wants to be a surgeon, which I'm 100% support of that. And Jacob, he loves playing on computers, so maybe he'll be a computer scientist or a tech one day. That's a quick overview. I realize we don't have that much time today, but I think what sums me up is that I love Jasper, I love Dubois County. Again, born and raised here. Got to go out and see the world and do really exciting things through my military career and through my education, my formal education. Got to work at a lot of different jobs and living also the dream of being an entrepreneur and small business owner right here in our hometown.
Well, then now, why are you running for political office?
Well, that's a good question. I thought about that. A lot of people have asked me that question. I think the first thing that pops into my mind is I've been inspired by other business owners who've stepped up and said, hey, I want to serve, I want to get involved, I want to get involved in local leadership. And I think about Jeff Bounds is a friend of mine. He serves on city council and was inspired by him. Steve Bartell's been a friend for over a decade, and Shane Lindauer, I got to meet him recently, and very inspired by people who are running their own businesses and taking part. And of course, Mark Messmer, our own state senator, and Mike Braun. You know, I look at all these people and I go, wow, they're running their businesses, they're contributing. They don't have to, but they want to get involved. They want to get involved in what's going on in their community. And I thought, well, it's time to take that step. I've never run for office before, so this is all new to me, but I feel like I've got a lot of good credentials and I can contribute. I believe business ought to be run by, government should be run like a business. And I believe that with my business experience, I could lend that. And I understand service. I really understand service to not only the community through the organizations I've been involved with, but to the nation.
Now, what are your, or what will be the concerns or issues, I guess, that the county council will be addressing, and what are some of your thoughts on that?
At the county level, of course, this is introductory for me, but kind of what I hear from the folks on the council and those other folks concerned, one of the primary issues is the sheriff's department and the jail. That's just been an issue. And how do we, as a local government, get the best law enforcement that we can possibly have and the best facilities? I believe our community will continue to grow, and whether you like it or not, I believe that it's going to also, as communities grow, that's also going to create a need for greater law enforcement. So I think we have to really focus and make some tough decisions in the future in terms of what we're going to do with that facility and how we're going to expand it and how we're going to make it more appropriate for the future. And of course, giving our law enforcement the best possible training and best possible resources that they can have. Other issues, of course, the Midwest Corridor. This is I think, a very important thing to our community in terms of long-term growth. In order to get the long-term growth that we need, we're going to have solid pathways in and out of Dubois County, in and out of Jasper, in and out of Ferdinand, in and out of Huntingburg. And right now with the Midwest Corridor, I think that is a huge, huge, huge issue. And the sooner we can get the pathway through, I believe the better we will be, as we really have a strong demand for getting people in and out of the community. And with that will cause greater growth, population growth, business growth, and help our own businesses here, I believe, grow internally.
As a veteran, is there things you'd like to see?
Yeah, that's a good point. That's another point. I think that there are people who are working very hard and doing very good things for our veteran community. But as a veteran, I believe I could bring that to the table. Maybe there's more resources that we need. I don't have all the answers on this, but are there more resources that our veteran service officer might need to help with the outreach? Are there ways that we can just help as a community to make sure our veterans stay first place, especially when it comes to government? What can we do to continue to help veterans? I think that's an important issue for me personally and with the other veteran organizations I'm involved with.
What's the difference between you and your opponent?
That's a good question. I think that my opponent does a very good job. I don't know her personally. I know that from other council members and other people that I speak to, I know she's very involved in the community. I believe that when you're making a decision to hire someone, I think it's important to look at the needs right now, and I think it's important to look at the resumes. So if I'm a voter and I'm sitting down and looking at my opponent's resume and my resume, I will see well-roundedness, military experience. I believe that business ownership is important. I understand profit and loss statements, working in the banking industry and finance industry with my formal education and experience day to day. I think that's very important. And I think community service is also important too. I think my community service, not only just participating in groups, but actually taking leadership roles. I think that's really critical, and practicing what I call, or what's referred to as, servant leadership. I think that's one of the most difficult things to do when you become a leader, because in community-based organizations and not-for-profit organizations, you have to get people motivated, and you can't do that by saying, well, you're out of here or I'm going to fire you. You have to motivate them by just inspiring people. And I think that's a real challenge. And I think that over the years I've developed a talent and skill for that I can lend to help lead the local government.
Now, you're running for Dubois County Council District 2, so not everybody in Dubois County votes for this race. This is not at large. What is District 2?
So District 2 is primary. If you think of Jasper, you're in District 2. If you're in Bainbridge Township, you're in District 2. And there's a couple other little pieces on the periphery as well. So primarily it's going to be Jasper or Bainbridge Township primarily.
Okay. Any final thoughts? At this time, we'll let you look into the
Any final thoughts?
Yes.
Okay. There's just not a lot of veterans in office today. And I think that it's important to have as many people that have had some military experience. So what I was thinking about as I drove up here today and how I would end the conversation would be, if you want to thank me for my service. Vote for me.
All right.
Very simple.
Keep it
Thank
simple.
me for my service and vote for me. And I promise I'll do a good job. I understand. I'll do a great job. Let me back up. I'll do a great job. And I believe that I can bring in my military experience, my business experience, and my community service experience to continue to do the great things that Jasper and Dubois County is already doing to get us up to the next level. And yeah, that's what I ask. Support me. Vote for me.
All right, Darren Patterson, thank you very much for coming in.
Thank you. I appreciate your time today.
Our guest has been Darren Patterson. He is running for Dubois County Council District Number 2. Please make sure that you vote, whether you vote early or on election day. It really is easy to vote. Darren, thanks for coming in.
Thank you,
Thank you
sir.
for watching WJTS. We're local people watching local people.